So I've been making a few trivets, and while they're up there drying the lacquer off, I thought I'd have a go at these bulrushes, something I have never done before until today, and I found a way that's pretty easy to do, so I thought I'd share it with you. So let's have a little look at what you've got to do. What you'll need is a bit of tube, a sacrificial bit of bar, which is the same size as the stem you're going to use, and your guillotine tool. Now this is quite lightweight tube, it's only about 16 gauge, 16th wall, and that's a bit of 8mm, no it's not, it's a bit of, yes it is, a bit of 8mm round. And my guillotine tool, I'm using the round dies. Basically all you've got to do to start with, heat up the end, only needs to be an inch or so, and stick it in the tool. Now this stuff being quite light has a tendency to want to squash, so you want to go very steady, because if you let it squash too much you'll get sort of creases around the top of your, or bottom, whichever end it is, around the end of your bulrush. You can see there it's starting to try and crease, so you've got to keep it moving, keep it light taps, and it will eventually get there. I dare say you could do this with heavier tube, but I'm just doing it with this lightweight stuff because it's what I've got kicking about. You see it's getting there. Oh, sorry, I've just set the forger light. A bit of coal jumped out and set some stuff alight. Right, so same, keep going, just keep it moving, keep tapping it. Eventually it'll get there. Now I don't want to go too far straight away because I want to check the size of the hole, because I don't want it to get smaller than my sacrificial bit of 8mm bar, and you'll see why in a minute. I think that's just about it. So now the next thing, you want to put it up through, and then what you're going to do is hammer down onto that bar. Now as you saw at the beginning, I've made 2 of these already this morning, and now I'm doing it all wrong. I've put the bar in and put it in the fire. Well, you don't need to. Just heat up your tube, then stick your sacrificial bit of tube, your sacrificial bit of bar up. It's much easier, and it doesn't jam so much, because as you can see we're getting closer and closer to clamping down onto that bit of bar, and with it being hot it's going to actually sort of crimp it onto that bar if you're not careful. You can feel as soon as you start touching it. So now I'm going to do about the middle on this bit of bar, bit of tube, and I'll get 2 out of there. So I'm going to do the same again, heat it up in the middle. I'll put a slight mark in it before I started when I did it cold, just so I could see where I've got to go. And again you can see how it's really trying to crease and crush rather than push in, and I'm having trouble holding it because it's blooming hot, so I can't really turn it very easily. You can see my glove on fire there. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a pair of grips or something on the end of this bar so I can turn it easier. So I've never done any of these before, so it's still a bit of a learning curve. I might try this with some heavier wall tube. The only disadvantage is that where you join it onto the stem, it's going to be a lot thicker, and it might be a bit more of a transition. Might not look quite as good, but we'll give it a go. But for the time being we're just going to use this thin stuff. We're getting there. It's not quite down onto the tube, onto the bar yet. As I say, you will feel it when it goes onto it, and when it does, don't go too far. I think that's just about there. Just feel it. You want to go a little bit because then you get a nice round smooth definition. As I say, don't go too mad because you won't get it out. Now this is what I'm going to try and do now, is get my bar out. I'm struggling a bit, and I think it's because I put it in on that first one and heated it up with the tube rather than heating the tube then putting it in. My mistake, but I'll learn. Let's see if we can cool it out and get it out. Yeah, that's moving. That's still a bit tight. Let's cool it out properly and stick it up in the vise. See if I can give it a yank. Right, it's loose, as you can see, but it just won't come out. And I think that's because it's got bent and it's got probably a bit of a lump in it where I squeezed it. Let's see if we can encourage it out. I'll get my grips to hold. These grips are, well, very old, not up to much. There we go, got it out. You could have just seen the ridges where it had clamped onto it. So right now it's just a case of cut it in half, cut it down the centre of each of these things with my new cutting disc. Make short work of that. There you go. You've got two bulrushes. And each end, when you cut one off, it's the start of the next one. So if you've got a long bit of tube, you can just keep going all the way down the tube. So let's cut the stems. 8mm round. And it's not till I see myself using this on camera that I realise how wobbly it is, and every time I say I'm going to bolt it down and I never do, and it's still not bolted down and it's still wobbly. Alright, so I'm just going to grind the ends up. One end just a really shallow, literally just take the burr off, and the other end I want to put quite a sharper point on the other end, so that's the end that's going to dig into the ground, because these are just literally going to be stuck in the garden. I'm sure the wife will find somewhere nice to put them. And then it's just a case of slipping the bulrush head, if you put it on the right way around, Gary, on that end, slipping it over. It doesn't matter how much you leave sticking out, it's personal preference. So I'm going to leave about that, 2.5 inches. And I'm just going to wire brush around it so it's easier to weld. Because I'm going to try and TIG these. I haven't used a TIG for a long while, so I need some practice. Just clean up all the way around. You see what I mean about the transition between the stem and the bulrush bit is quite shallow because it's a very narrow walled tube. So I think that's going to sort of look nicer than if it was a big heavy piece. I suppose you fill it in with weld, but I'm going to try to just fuse these without using any filler wire. I'm not doing very well. because I think what the problem is here, where I cooled it out, it's full of water, or it's wet inside, and as I'm welding, the water vapour is coming out and causing, yeah, you can see it there running down the stem, causing sort of, what do you call it, like, it's like if you haven't got gas. You can see there it's making a real mess of it, and I think that's all it is. The steam is escaping and stopping me getting a decent weld. Let's do the other one. This one should be a bit drier. It shouldn't go quite so badly. Yeah, that one's going a bit nicer. Still got a little hole there we need filling. And that'll do it. Now, see, that's not 100%, but it's not bad. By the time that's stuck in the garden and red rusty, no one will ever notice how bad the welding is. So I'm going to wire brush them up in my usual manner, and there we go. So now I've got 4. So I'll take those home for the wife. She'll find somewhere to put them in the garden. I might make some leaves, which are just basically sort of like inch wide strips of tapering sheet metal, but at the moment I'm just going to leave them as they are and let the wife put them around the garden with the other bits and pieces I've made for her. So thanks for watching. Hope that's inspired you, and we'll catch you on the next one.